Morning coffee. Nothing like it. Nothing like it in all the world. Yeah, I'm always logged in. I don't even need to do a post about it. Hey, Blinks Frost, how you doing? Good morning to you, or I mean afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. It's not enough money. Yeah, it's a little less than what we would need. But hey, that's okay. There's always other ways for me to get done what we need to get done. What's going to happen now? Well, the game development timeline will have to change a little bit because a lot of what this campaign was for was to get several of the workers onto a more temporary full-time contract. It would have been like 3 months a person, and they would have dedicated all their time to getting the assets and programming done that we needed. So, without the funding, I can't pay for them to do. I can't pay them to do that. So I'll have to continue paying them the way I have been, which is buy asset when I have the money to pay for the asset or the programming. So it'll just take longer. It's gonna be slower, which is especially tough for me because I don't have another real full-time job. So I will have to probably move back home, which I kind of expected. Either way, whether we succeeded or didn't, I was probably going to have to move back home anyway because I'm out of money. Let's see, what else is going to happen? There's one or two different ideas floating around in terms of how you can still support what we're doing. Ugh, sorry, I got a text message from someone. Derailed my train of thought. Oh, a couple different plans going forward for people that wanted to keep supporting us. Hey Zai, good morning. Hope you got enough sleep. I've mentioned it in previous streams, but one of the ideas for those who haven't tuned into the other streams, one way you can keep supporting us, I'm going to try to put up either a Patreon or an Indiegogo. It'll act sort of like a pre-order platform, so you can still pledge the amount of the digital game I won't be able to have, like, you know, the early bird stuff. I sound so sad. I'm not sad. I'm just, I just woke up. It's early for me. I'm not, how lazy does that sound? I'm not used to getting up at like 6 or 7. But yeah, I mean, that's just how I sound, I guess. When I wake up, I'm trying to drink my coffee. But yeah, those would act as pre-order platforms. So it'd probably be like, what am I thinking here? Maybe $15 or $17 for a quote-unquote pre-order of the game, and through Indiegogo or Patreon, that would actually get us that money immediately, so we can push through and keep the assets coming through at a higher rate than waiting for me to to make the money to pay for the assets, which would be a lot slower. 4 p.m. here, so I'm good though. Well, good. Man, that means that, yeah, it's like really late when you were watching the streams in the evening. But yeah, Blink's Frost, Kickstarter's getting to be pretty, it's difficult to get exposure simply by having a Kickstarter. Like, there were too many for too long, and so a lot of game journalists just don't really cover it as much, just because I guess there's so many that get submitted. It's hard to filter through the ones that are, you know, not going to go anywhere versus amateur efforts versus veteran devs making something new under a new label, etc., etc. More like I was looking at a visual novel on Kickstarter that one day. Yeah, I know, and I tried emailing them a couple different times to see if we could get like a project we love or some sort of help or endorsement, and I just got canned responses, so I guess I just didn't know the right people to contact for that at Kickstarter. My web ring of contacts doesn't go that deep. And larger sites have almost no interest in covering small new studio Kickstarters. Even though I've been in the industry for quite a while, because I haven't put out a game before, I guess I don't have that pedigree that's worth following, and I don't have a whole ton of indie game dev connections, and the ones I've tried to reach out and make, either they just never responded or just kind of came back and were, I don't know, a little rude in their email responses about our project. I guess I can't fault them, but I don't know, it didn't come across as very helpful or a inviting community with the ones who have found success in the past. It's kind of made them exactly what you think success would do to someone who had nothing. It has rendered them difficult to communicate with. That's some good coffee. Show Content Seikai project. With how much money they ask every single game they try. Yeah, that kind of blows my mind. It might cost that much to do a localization if you have a bunch of full-time people. But if you're outsourcing, like that, what they're asking for is just like crazy licensing fees, I'm sure. Good coffee. Good in that it's warm and it wakes me up. you should, even with full-time with the success they have, I bet, yeah, they shouldn't have to go crowdfunding every single time. But that's sort of a, I mean, I can't speak for them, of course, but I feel like that's a very Japanese business mindset. They saw that it worked once, and it took away a lot of risk on their end financially. So they figured, well, if that works, let's just do that every single time. So that's just the habit that they get into. And that's what they'll do every single time until it doesn't work. That's just the business mindset I feel like they probably have either there or in Japan. But again, I don't work for them or anything. I can't speak on their behalf. That's just how it seems to me based on what I know of the industry and the mindset and the trends. If people pay for it, why would they stop? That kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Yep, blame the consumer, not the creator. That's all true. It's like really frustrating. But yeah, as long as people keep doing it, they're going to keep doing it, you know? And, I mean, I don't want it to sound like sour grapes, but I feel like when a larger studio does that and they keep doing that, it takes the funding dollars away from smaller efforts that may truly need it. Sort of like Shenmue 3, I doubt they really needed to go crowdfunding if they were able to get up on Sony's stage at a keynote? At a keynote the other year. They didn't need to do the crowdfunding, but all that served to do was destroy everybody else's Kickstarters that they had going that entire like 30, 60-day period. So Kickstarter, I guess, long story short, how I feel about it is that it is no longer a platform for people who really need money. It's become a platform for the people who have found success on it or, you know, need to use it as a marketing tool or just need a whole ton of money. It's not as much for small startups that need a literal kickstart, which is what I imagined the site was initially started to be for. It just doesn't feel like it's about that anymore. Keep it PG-13. And with VNs being a small market, yeah, it's weird. Got any Cliff Notes? What's going on? Hey, Fallen and the Weary, good to see you again. Just sort of recapping what we had talked about in the other stream or two that you had been in. You know, the options moving forward, the Indiegogo and the Patreon, and I was just ranting about Kickstarter and how it's not really used to kickstart small companies anymore. It's just about funding the people who have found success or the people who have huge marketing teams behind them and can push it out to all the big places. Oh, dude, paying back student loans, that's not a bad idea, though. I mean, there's a Kickstarter, but you could do like a GoFundMe or something, I don't know. But hey, if it worked, then it worked, right? Like, what if I did a campaign for Undead Darlings that had a $1,000 goal? I mean, I wouldn't be able to do much with it, but I don't know. I'm just ranting. I think that's why Indiegogo or Patreon will be good, because there won't be like a goal to reach. It'll just be every dollar goes to help and make the game come out sooner. Minute Kiwi. There's no more risk of not bringing back the funds that go in. That's true. But there's another thing with pre-orders that I guess a lot of people know, but just in case, a lot of times the number of pre-orders a game gets determines how many copies total are going to get pressed and printed. So pre-orders are also used kind of as a gauge to see how many copies of a game are going to be purchased by brick and mortar stores or by Amazon, and that money goes to the publisher. So the publisher doesn't make money when the game is sold to you. They make the money when it's sold to the stores, and the stores order X amount of copies based on pre-orders. So the more pre-orders something gets, the more copies will be ordered, and the more quote-unquote successful the game will be, even though it's not sell-through to consumer, it's sell-through to the store. That's right, Zai. Without hitting the goal, we won't get any of it. Do I have any way to give my Kickstarter pledge to you, Mr. Tired Media? Stay tuned. I'll post an update on the Kickstarter in the next probably week or so, and that'll be to let you know I have a new sort of like a donation page going, and that'll be either at Indiegogo or Patreon. I'll have to look into it. I really think Patreon has a one-time pledge option or one-time donation option. I think that would be ideal just because it won't have to have a time limit. But again, I'll look into it, and if that isn't the case, I don't want people pledging a certain amount like every month. That's kind of silly. I don't need you guys to do that for us. But there will be ways to secure your copy of the game while also supporting us. I'll be in touch with you guys about that. Did you pay for Hitsu's art out of pocket? Yeah, we paid for that. We paid for that in bulk, like over a year ago. We just gave her the full amount, and we were like, we just need them by the end of game development. So we gave her like a very long time to work on them, and I actually realized the other day we never received one image from her, so I shot her an email to see if it was just one that she forgot to upload, because I'm pretty sure she has them all done. I just think she forgot to upload one of them for me. But yeah, we paid it all out of pocket a while back, so it's all paid for, so that's not a problem. What if I want to give money every month? Well, then you're an incredibly selfless person, and I'm really, like, flattered, but you really don't need to do that. We'll figure something out. I've got other ways that I can fund it myself. Obviously, like I said earlier, maybe a few of you weren't here, but I'm going to have to move back home to Georgia just because I can't afford to live out here without the crowdfunding money. So I'm going to have to move back home where, there's not really rent or utilities, and that way I can put that much money that I can pull in each month toward the game development versus, living in the indie community, which has been less than, less than awesome, I guess. I've met some really great people, but the community at large, I reached out when I needed them, and I didn't get anything. I guess just because I'm not good enough friends with them, I suppose. I mean, I can't afford to go out drinking, and a lot of what the indie community does is they have like a get-together every Thursday or every first Thursday of the month or something, where they go and they like go to a bar and drink and talk, and I can't go because well, first it's like a 30-minute drive, which isn't a very long drive, but you know, gas costs money, and you know, beer costs money, and I don't have money. I'd rather put the money into game development, and I guess that was a mistake. I should have schmoozed more with the people. I'm gonna toss open Skype on here. See if anybody ever even responded to my last call to action yesterday. Unique community sounds like butt. No, it's a really, really great community, and when you do go and hang out with them, like it's very cool. It's very chill. Everybody's, you know, we're all going through the same stuff. I guess I felt like I was one of the younger bucks there, and I don't know. Because just because you're new to an area, people will treat you like you're not an outsider, but like you don't know what they're going through, or like you're different, you're not the same. And I mean, that's true with any group of anyone. But yeah, I guess I just didn't hang out with them enough to show that, you know, I'm for serious. I was so serious that I didn't want to spend any money. But I think, I actually think moving to Georgia might be a good move. There's a lot of entertainment industry growth happening in the Southeast, especially in Georgia. It all kind of started with, you know, Walking Dead. But I think they really want to grow that sector in Georgia, like the entertainment tech industry. So, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to pull a Kingdoms of Amalur and get some government funding from Georgia if I move our company to being a Georgia company versus a Washington company. All stuff I have to look into. It's all stuff I've kind of had in the back of my mind, but haven't really looked into because I wanted to see how this would go. And, you know, it's important to me to be able to focus all my energy on something as it stands right now, instead of giving up on the now and rerouting my energy to these alternative ideas. So I wanted to focus on this, give this its best shot, and now I can look around and do all that research and figure all that stuff out to try to make it the best company and the best location and put out the best product that we can. Hey, nice. Thanks for stopping by, Blinks Frost. Have a good day. Honestly, if the player community stepped up a bit more, this would be funded easy. I don't want to put the blame on the player community. I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Hi, Linden20. Please make this game for the love of Erica. Oh, for the voicing? Hey, it'll happen. It might just be very limited voicing, but we'll see what I can do. The voice actors had emailed me and they were telling me about a low-budget solution that would potentially let us get more lines voiced. And it sounded really interesting, so I'll have to look more into that, because that would be really cool if we'd be able to get, you know, even just a handful of key scenes voiced. I would be all about it. So it was nice of them to let me know of a couple options that we have there. I think Manga Gamer is going to be upset with us. Is this a countdown? Not so much a countdown, just a end of funding chat. Yeah, I think Manga Gamer will be upset with us because we this whole deal that we had made required the Kickstarter to succeed. And based on everything that I showed them, and based on their reaction to it, I think we both thought it was kind of a shoe-in for funding, because it wasn't a lot of money comparatively, and we had so much to show. Like, it was far enough along that what we had to show in the campaign itself was very promising to them and to us. So that's why they made the agreement with us, because they're like, oh yeah, because this is clearly going to work. So now that it doesn't seem like that'll be the case, our agreement with them will become null and void. So there won't be that physical PC version. That was on them for us to what am I saying? That was their part of the deal, so without them, that won't happen. Yeah, so I'll just have to chat with them a bit and make sure that they're not too terribly upset. Sorry, Manga Gamer. Yeah, I mean, sad day overall. It's definitely not what I wanted. Don't get depressed. I'm not depressed. I mean, maybe my voice sounds really deep and dour. I think it's just because it's still the morning, and I need to get another cup of coffee. But yeah, I mean, of course, this isn't the results I wanted, but it is somewhat what I felt would happen. Just for a while now, I've felt that video game Kickstarters have started to become not just less common, but less of a bell curve in their success. Like, there isn't like a majority being funded. It's going to start happening. It's going to start trending to either you'll get a game that makes a whole ton of money, or you'll get a game that requires almost no funding that gets funded. But projects like this, where we have a realistic scope, a realistic goal, with a very detailed cost breakdown, these types of projects are probably not going to get funded as much anymore. And that's just how I feel the Kickstart trend is going to go, is you'll get your super high profile titles or your very, very low budget titles, and that'll be about it. Mr. Tired Senpai. Notice me, Mr. Tired. I love our Mr. Tired logo. Like, what chump this guy is. Like, he's such a chump. need to, one thing I do need to do, it's not important to Kickstarter at all, but I need to add a TM to our logo, to both our company logo and the game. They're both trademarked. So nobody can steal the ideas, so they're all trademarked. Something that also works as a model is making the goal of the Kickstarter just the most basic assets, a couple scenes, art, etc., and all the stretch goals are to make a full game. That's interesting. So you would kind of fund toward a demo, and the funding would be to get the demo done. And stretch goals after that would go toward the completion of the total game. I see. That's cool. That makes sense. I would worry about it on our end just because, yeah, I don't know. A demo does not a full game make. What's with the trademarks? Yeah, I add trademarks. Another text message. What is it this time? What is it this time? Nothing. Enough. Enough of your blinking and beeping, phone. Oh yeah, it's about that. Okay. For Caramel Mochaccino, they have just a few art assets and a lot of stretch goals. They blasted through most of them. Yeah. I mean, I supported those guys, and I think I pledged toward their project as well, but I don't understand how, I guess it was just a lower goal for them in general. Claudio's being a goofball. Yeah, they blasted through most of them. I guess, yeah, having that lower goal and then stretch goals is kind of nice. Or just the lower funding goal in general is probably more appealing. Like, ooh, a visual novel for $10,000 or something? That's easier to swallow than, oh, 45,000. But you know, if you think about it, oh, here's a teaser for you. How much do you think it costs to develop a game like Disgaea 5? I'll await some responses while I go and get another cup of coffee. How much does it cost to develop a game like Disgaea 5? play nice, fellas. We're all buddies here. So let's see, a couple different guesses here. 2.3 million, $3. It's somewhere between those two. Generally, what I was told back when I was working there, I'm just finishing Master Junior's quote with my own reference to an amazing movie from the 90s. Anyway, back when I was working at Nice America, what I was told was that a lot of these headquarter titles, like Disgaea and whatnot, they were limited to a $300,000 budget. $300,000 for a full-time team, full-time programmer, company with everyone on salary to create a game like Disgaea. $300,000. So when you hear this and you look at our game asking for $45,000, it's completely in the realm of reason because we don't have a full-time staff and we're not on salary. But it really doesn't cost as much to make these niche games as people think, because you just hear about how much it costs to make games like Assassin's Creed. But yeah, that's why a lot of these smaller games and smaller game companies can eke out a profit from selling 20,000 or 30,000 copies of a game instead of several million, because it really doesn't cost as much as common understanding would have you believe. Cutscenes and CG and stuff, yeah. I mean, it's all, like I said, they're all salary, they're all full-time, so they just have people that'll sit there and do that stuff. And the opening animation is usually where a lot of the budget goes, honestly, because that's a lot of work, and they usually have to use an outside animation studio, so that's where a lot of budget goes. But back when I worked there, what I understood and what I was told was that that was their development budget for new titles. So maybe flagship titles get more, so I might have misunderstood. Flagship titles might get more, but all their games, especially new titles, have that budgetary limit. Most AAA titles. Well, Master Junior, I will say that I didn't start playing Destiny until the Taken King. So, to me, when I got the entire Destiny plus those expansions, whatever version, and it was like $25, that was worth it. I thought it was pretty fun for that. And, you know, after all those expansions, it felt like there was plenty to do. The game industry really is failing. It's not failing, it's just becoming a lot like the country that, or the game industry in the US is becoming a lot like the economy in the US, where you have the successful being super duper successful, and then you have everyone else at the bottom trying to feed themselves. It'd be nice if they would spend more making the game more fun and less pretty. Something that I've come to really enjoy about modern gaming, Cloyd Cag. I'll call you Cloyd the Cag. Year one gamer suffered an empty game. That's what I heard. And I feel really bad for the people who hopped on that game day one, because it does seem like it was very, very empty. But it ended up being a pretty good experience in the end. But back what I was saying, Cloyd Decay, it'd be perfectly said. Excellent! Yes! more pretty, or more fun and less pretty. Something I like about modern day gaming is how many different types of games are out there in terms of graphics. Like you've got pixel, vox, whatever, retro game style. You've just got all these different styles of graphics, and it makes me really, really, really happy because to me, that says that the industry is starting to focus less on graphics, and it's more about the experience, the style, the mechanics, and that I love because what all new studios are going to suffer with is getting that graphic fidelity up, and that limits you to very few genres that you can try to do for your first game if you're supposed to have something super pretty. And now that there's so many different styles of graphical experimentation type games out there, it doesn't matter as much. And I like that because graphics really shouldn't make the game. Graphics cover up all of the parts of a game that make it fun, all the mechanics and all the story and whatnot. I'm hearing it, one gamer, it was absolute hell. I'm sorry, man. But I did see that they announced another expansion or something at E3, something about it looks like an Iron Banner type thing. But I looked on the PlayStation Store and they're like, pre-order it for $30. I'm like, $30? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Give me a break. It's maybe becoming more saturated. Is that just talking about the game industry in general, the fallen and the weary? Pre-orders are a big D in your M. I don't know why I said M. Maybe it's just D and M. I hate pre-orders. Yeah, pre-orders are, it's a strange phenomenon in the world of games. It's not like you can really, maybe you can, but can you like pre-order other toys? I pre-order figurines, I guess, but that's because you have to in the US. They need to know how to ship them overseas, how many to ship. And that's based on them pre-orders. I say so. Nick, please. Nick, please. I've become a huge fan of dungeon crawlers after playing RE5 is a great example. Unrecorded games that fall under $50. That makes sense. Funny. Yeah, gosh, I'm a big fan of dungeon crawlers too. What really set it off for me? Oh man. I guess my love for dungeon crawlers started back with the it's not as old as I probably lead people on to think, but the very first Etrian Odyssey, I guess, really got me into the genre. And then from there I expanded out and tried older titles and, different ones. And yeah, after that, then I saw there were a couple on PSP, so I grabbed those, like Classic Heroes. And I don't know, it's just continued since then, and it's been a genre that I really enjoy because it keeps the mechanics that I liked the most in the 8-bit and 16-bit era, and 32-bit, I guess. So it's sort of like, it's still the quote-unquote pure RPG experience for me. Since, you know, full party control is apparently a complete thing of the past with larger RPG developers. Damn it, I want my full party control. Class of Heroes 2G. I'm not much of a dungeon crawler gamer. Hey, that's okay, man. It's a very specific type of genre, like it's a very specific subset of a genre, so it's definitely not for everyone. I mean, Bravely Default might count on some degree. I mean, you do walk through dungeons and get in fights if you have your encounter meter set to give you fights. It's just the perspective is different. It's funny how just the perspective of the camera and how you view the player avatar, like that completely changes the type of game it is. If our game were an over-the-shoulder, or not over-the-shoulder, but Nocturne style game where you saw the girl running around, it wouldn't be a dungeon crawler anymore, but it would still be the exact same game. It's just that way that you move around the world is different, and that completely changes the genre. It's interesting when you really start to think about what makes a game the type of game it is. Linden 20, you really like that voice actress, eh? Yeah? Good old Summer in Erica. Ugh, I roll my R's because I have a friend whose wife is Japanese. Her name's Eriko, so I'm used to rolling my R's when I say names like that now. Oh boy. Hey Option, welcome. Oh, 240, I thought it was 420. Hey, it's a dank joke. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've met Xanthi and Erica at a convention. They're all cool people. Yeah, I know, they're so great. Do you even vape? Vape Nation, y'all. Lit AF. Oh man, I watch a lot of videos by the H3H3, and they're pretty dank sometimes. But yeah, that's sort of my sense of humor in a way. I don't particularly dig into dank memes, but I guess I got sort of a reputation for that. But I don't dank meme or anything. It just sort of happens. I guess my personality was like that beforehand, and it gets attributed to that. But that's just how some people are, I guess. Cause and effect, yada yada. I hope he was walking into walls. That's amazing. Why are there 6 pedals if there are only 4 directions? That's funny. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of great voice actors, voice actresses. Yeah, I'm not sure. Quality. Quality. I don't think a lot of projects on Kickstarter really scream quality. And if they do, they probably don't need to actually be on Kickstarter. Did my last call to arms, no assists. Yeah, I think all the VAs we have listed are quality voice actors and actresses. Just the little voice clips that I have for them, I just asked them to read a couple of lines, and there wasn't a whole lot of context. I gave them the entire scene and just said, pick some lines and give them your best, and that's what I cut into the little samples that you hear on the campaign page. I know for sure that once we would sit down in a studio and record actual lines, we'd be able to get a lot more pitch perfect, I guess, character deliveries off of them. But for the samples, they were just to show like the general voice direction of each character, so you can kind of put a voice in your head when you look at them. Yeah, if you want to hear awkward voice acting, Chaos Wars is the shit. Oh yeah, someone mentioned the cheap-ass gamer post. That was really cool of them. Yeah, I'm sure Master Junior, that pulling those names on there would done something, but I can't afford them. Like they're very they're a lot more expensive just because of that notoriety. Oh, funding unsuccessful. There it is. There you have it, boys and girls. Oh, it was you that posted it? Well, good for you, man. Thank you so much. Blood singing particularly is funny because David Hayter. The knife in the back. What I really liked about the Bloodstained campaign, I liked how they got the guy who voiced Alucard to come and give like that little message. That was really cool because that guy is like, his voice is Alucard, and I don't know if he's really done anything else. But just to hear that voice again was wonderful for me. That's what made me really feel like that was a good project and campaign to back, because they remembered those little things that matter. Robert Belgrade, was that his name? Robert Belgrade, Alucard, yeah. Oh, and I guess he was the announcer in several entries of the Tekken series. But I mean, come on. Yeah, him throwing the wine glass. That, as soon as he did that, I was like, all right, he gets his audience, so that's going to be a huge success. What is a man? A pitiful little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you? Dun, 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 dun. And then you don't get hit, and you get a lot more hearts as Alucard. Stat boosts. I had no idea that they replaced him on the PSP version. That's goofy. That's goofy pants. Why would you replace him? It's his voice. That's super goofy pants. That's sort of like, well, I love Aaron Fitzgerald's work in Persona, but it's sort of like how they had to get new Chie and Teddy voices for the Persona 4 Golden. I don't really understand why, but at the same time I totally do. It's contract negotiations, I'm sure. But yeah, sometimes I guess you just have to change the voices for different versions based on the contracts you made with the voice actors. Did I miss anything at the top of the hour? Yeah, just some dank memes. Apparently. But yeah, option, I think you've heard most of it before in the other streams. You know, just the whole idea of doing Patreon or Indiegogo to get some pre-order funding to keep things rolling. I'll work and move home and pay for stuff on my end. It'll just take a little bit longer without the immediate funding. I think that's the main point to get across, is that nothing is changing except for the timeline. It's just going to take longer. Advertise some cons. Well, holy shit, that sounds awesome, dude. And I'll definitely keep you posted, as long as Yeah, it might be tough to like keep you personally posted, but I'll post updates on this campaign that'll eventually redirect you to another place that'll get more regular updates, because I don't think I should keep posting on Kickstarter only. A lot of it will be on our main Mr. Tired Media website. That's where I'll do most of the updates, and we will do more streams, at least more than we've done in the past. So each time we get like new assets or a new scene or something, I'll just do a quick little stream to show you guys what we've got. And that way you'll know that there's always some forward progress being made. And all we can do then is just keep shilling the game project to all our friends, all the people we know, and continue to get it coverage, because I know we're going to have some fantastic comments in damage control with people saying that, it failed twice, so it's obviously me and my fault, and I'm a terrible person, and it's all my fault for ruining everyone's favorite pastime or something, which is complete horse shit, but I've gone into that a couple different times. I don't feel like going into it again. Why are you not allowed nice things? Hey man, you'll get this. It'll be a nice thing that you'll get. We'll just have to wait a little longer for it. And I feel you. I mean, I'm pretty upset. I mean, it's tough to put yourself out there once and to fail, but to put yourself out there twice and fail, I mean, it's one of those situations where, like, you have to look at yourself and see if there's anything that you've done wrong, because it's sort of like, oh, I've dated 8 girls and they all dumped me immediately. They're so dumb. It's like, no, there might be something wrong with you. So I sit here and I think about what we've done wrong, but I mean, when I look at it all and then I compare it to other crowdfunding efforts or other games within the same genre, we're right there, like we're up there with them. So I feel like, maybe there's that sense of competition. So like we're trying to get pushed down because we're a threat, or we're seen as a potential threat. I don't know, because the game looks good, the story's good, the art's good, and the campaign was pretty detailed. I don't know what else I could have done, really. I just, like I've said in the past, I guess I just didn't know enough people high up enough to help push the game. I couldn't afford a big marketing team. Hey, whatever. Automated newsletter updates for your main site. I don't think so. But what I'll do is I'll send a message out somehow. Either on Facebook. Here, I'm gonna toss some links into the chat for you. Normally when I do updates, I'll post them on Facebook, I'll post them on Twitter. So if you haven't liked us or followed us on any of those, go ahead and do that. And those are the main places when I post about an update. I'll update on those, and then I usually send out like a mass email to the press just to see if anybody bites and give us a little coverage. And usually we get a couple places that throw us a bone, and I'm always really grateful to those guys. It's usually like Operation Rainfall, Silicon Era. They're marvelous, they're wonderful, and I love them very much for all the help that they've given us. Some games chose not to back it. I wonder. I don't think the community talks about where people came from. Let's see. What was that one place? Statbacker? Something. Guido Connor Kramer and his stat backup program. Hey, we almost hit 60%. That's pretty awesome. No, that doesn't tell me where people found out about it. I guess I don't have those metrics available. If I had like a Google Analytics linked to the Kickstarter, I probably would, but I did not. It's 3 links in one, but I control-entered them. Lol. I'll just do them one at a time then. There. Yeah, any of those, that's a great place. I always make sure to let those 3 places know whenever we do some sort of update on our main site. And that's definitely what I intend to do, is keep rolling and keep updating. That's one of the ways that, you know, I'll just prove we doing this, and it's not going to stop. Funding, no funding, it's not going to stop. It'll just go a little slower. I'm going to have a meeting with the lead programmer this weekend, and I've got to draft up emails for the rest of the people who are working on the title. Sort of let them know what I've been saying here about plans going forward and how, you know, I still have work for them. If they would like to work and make a little money, I can pay them for that. Speaking of the Mr. Tired Media site, what's up with Scotty-chan? Hey, Fyoshfd. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about it too. But yeah, thank you. It's frustrating, but I guess it's sort of a sign of the times. This just isn't going to be the same type of market in terms of what gets crowdfunded. It can't just be anything. It has to be specific types of games or specific developers, or I don't know. It seems like the day of just anybody getting funded is over, so it has to get a little more focused, and we were not part of that focus, and that's okay. That happens. What's the deal with Scotty-chan? So her deal, she's Mr. Tired's daughter. The main idea behind her was to have sort of like a Super Sonico or an Asagi type character. Somebody who would, you know, be able to make appearances in all of our different projects and maybe get like a little spin-off of her own. And she's just kind of like the cheerleader for the company, because Mr. Tired is always, you know, tired, smoking, drinking coffee. He's sort of, you know, oh, I'm always working so hard, and Sky-chan is like the, you can do it. So she's the pillar of support for the company. That's kind of her deal. on her shirt in kanji, I believe it says, like, do your best, daddy. Which is adorable. Smoking is bad for you. I don't smoke, but Mr. Tired does. Maybe I wouldn't be so stressed out all the time if I smoked, but it's not really something I feel like starting. No offense to anybody who does, it's just not really my thing. Making something up real quick here. Each way I can draw on it. Or not. There we go. Let's give this guy big pointy moe chin there. Big pointy moe nose. Oh, such garbage. Let's give him some nice salty tears too. Create a pool of tears. Like, for real, I thought it was some guy in Japan, his teenage daughter is helping him manage his social media and keeping updates. Hey, that's the idea. It's sort of like bringing on those characters, bringing them to life. And that's what you thought. It's great, I love it. That means that I'm doing my job if you felt that way. That's sort of the idea we wanted to get across, you know? So it's awesome that you thought that. Just like my Gakuen Handsomes. Yeah. It's like a little radish hair, you know? Oh, noes! Yeah, let's see. I guess my plans for the rest of the day, now that this is ended, lots of emails. I get to send out a lot of emails to a lot of people. Some people I get to apologize to, some people I get to reassure, and others I get to just sort of, say thank you. I have to send out an email to the press and thank them for giving me the coverage that they did. And, maybe I'll only send it to the people who actually did give us coverage. Yeah, the different colored N, I don't know why I did that. I think it's because on my trackpad, I may have hit the right side of the mouse instead of the left. Speaking of Higurashi, oh yeah, I saw Manga Gamer just announced like Volume 3 is something that came out or whatever. Maybe I'd be hyped if I didn't watch the terrible anime. I remember when we were working on that anime at NIS, we were like, what the hell is this? Hey, I didn't say it was bad. I just thought it was a very, very strange show for us. I don't think we knew exactly what to expect, and once we saw the whole show, we were like, what? Suddenly turning into a dragon? Okay. I liked like the whole approach with NIS on the Umineko anime. There were so many people on the forums at the time asking for the visual novel, and for whatever reason they decided like, okay, so to test the visual novel market, we'll license the anime and see how that does. And like immediately the people who were fans of the visual novel were like, but the anime wasn't good. And it just kind of went from there. We're like, oh, well, that was a stupid idea. But I don't know how that was supposed to test the visual novel market when it's a completely different medium with its own adaptation of the material. Yeah, I think that's, sorry, it's hard to read your name, Baruch. Yeah, they did the best they could by turning that into an anime. Like, some stuff is pretty much impossible to cross over into the medium, like the whole I'm speaking in blue, I'm speaking in red. Like, you can't talk in color visually, but in a visual novel format, it's kind of like a meta thing, like, ooh, the text is blue. So I don't like to compare, like, film versus the book. I don't like to compare the two because, like Baruch just pointed out, they're different mediums. Some stuff just doesn't translate. So I like to think of them as, I like this version of the story or this adaptation. So sometimes I like the book better, sometimes I like the movie better. They're completely different to me, so I don't think they should be compared. Hey, I don't make the rules, Zai. That's just what they decided to do. They're both cartoons. Cartoons! You'll enrage some anime fans, I think, if you go around calling them cartoons, which is kind of funny to me, because, I mean, they are. But, you know, it's all in that phrasing. Yeah, I know. Sarcasm Kappa. Product placement. There you go, some Dorito chips. Let's see here. I guess I'll just tweet out to everyone, thank you. you go. Thanks to those who supported and covered Undead Darlings Kickstarter, game dev will continue because we believe in us, as our backers did. So it's all about, you guys. Anyway, back to work. See y'all later. See you, Fallen and the Weary. Yeah, just wanted to post that up there. Alright, guys. I didn't really have anything planned for this stream other than, just to say thank you for your support, and I'll keep updating you guys, because even though we're not funded, we'll keep making the game, and I'll do my best to update you guys as frequently as possible. So be sure to follow us on Twitter or like our Facebook page. That way I can keep you posted. I'll write a few updates on Kickstarter before I stop doing that and just keep it to the main website. That way you'll have a little time, a couple reminders to do one of those things. And we will chat about our alternatives on Indiegogo or Patreon in the coming weeks. And thank you for all the well-wishing and the good luck and the support. And this isn't the end, guys. It's just another bump in the road, and I have every intention of making it to the destination. So we'll journey with me as we, I guess, prove everyone wrong who don't believe in the project or didn't back it. I guess I don't know. And another thing I want to do is do more streams on PlayStation 4, just video game streams, because I think it's also really important that as a game developer, I want you guys also to know that I play games, and you can't make a game if you don't play games. So I want you guys to see that, we know our roots, and our roots are in gaming, so I want to show that off also. We're cursed! Oh no! 666! Oh no, mine's at 647. Then again, I haven't refreshed in a while. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I'll do some more video game streams at random. I'll let you know when I want to do those too. I'll probably have to set up some kind of schedule. That plot with Rebecca. I know something about the green soccer outfit or whatever. Pretty great. Oh no! Bye-bye. So let's remember our undead darlings. They will come home eventually. We've put way too much work into this to stop. So I'm not stopping. We've got all these characters, all this art, all this story. It's so close. So we're just gonna see it through. I'll make it happen. And it'll happen with your help and your support, and we'll get the word out there, and people will take notice. And then we'll release a cool game, and people will like it. Who's going to save them now? Can I help? Like I said, I'll update you guys in about a week or so when I have an alternative funding solution set up so that if you do want to help, you can help. Of course, I won't advertise it as hard as the Kickstarter because it'll just be, if you want to help, you can help. And I would appreciate every cent, because it'll just help us to get it done faster. And into your hands. Yeah, no game dev today. I'm gonna have to focus on sending out a whole bunch of emails and chatting with the crew. So I'll have to do that instead today. But yeah, that's about it. So I'll just sit here in silence for a minute while the audio catches up, or whatever. And once I see on my video preview, once I see Summer's face covered in a square, I will be signing off. So thank you guys again for coming to hang out and chat in the end of crowdfunding. And we'll kick ass next time with whatever it is that we're gonna do. And I hope to see you guys in some of my game streams. That'll be really fun, I think. So alright, I'll stay in the comment section and type, but this'll be it for chatting. Thanks so much.